Hello everyone, welcome back to the Are You The One episode 3 recap. You can watch it on WeTV or Viki once it gets on Viki in your region. Let's get right into it. So in episode 3, the man we meet at the end of episode 2, who's playing the Chin, is looking for Miss Lu. His maid's name is Sun Yun and I looked up on MDL because we don't actually find out her name until way later on in this episode. And she tells him that she'll always be there, even if Miss Lu doesn't come back. And then a servant comes and says they have found Miss Lu. Then we get a scene of Mian Tang dragging her husband to give invitations to his Go Pals. Everyone is calling him Mr. Juju, and I think they're his soldiers. It's greatly assumed that these are his soldiers, because he's still lying to her, of course. We then find out from Physician Zhao that the male lead is engaged to a lady called Lian Ru Lan, which is his cousin. We haven't met this character yet, but this is the first time she's mentioned. Then somebody drops wine as Mian Tang is riding in her carriage and the horses get scared. She falls out of the carriage and the male lead is watching everything from above. And also Sun Yin the maid the maid of the man that we see at the beginning of the episode, is also watching her in the crowd. This lady likely has something to do with the kidnapping and the kidnapping 3 years ago, and also the injuries that she's had to... Maybe not the injuries, because later on in this episode, we do find out that she doesn't know that she's lost her memory, but maybe the kidnapping. After this, we see a beggar and some hatted men look suspicious in the crowd as they're looking for Mian Tang. Don't know who the beggar is yet because we don't have a name for him. We then skip to the banquet. Chen Tu is there too. Remember, he was the guy that tried to sexually assault her in a previous episode. And then we also find out that the male lead hasn't actually met Lu Wen, who is his enemy that he's been fighting for 3 years, the bandit leader. He doesn't know what he looks like. He just knows he's looking for him. And he's talking to Physician Zhao as we find out this information. Then somebody places incense in Mian Tang's room. It's Chen Tu. He plans to assault her. Mian Tang finds this out and gets her maid to alert somebody. She then meets Sun Yin on her way to pour boiling water on the villain, and Sun Yin has a knife out and she wants to stab. She wants to stab the female lead, and we don't know why, but there's some sort of bad blood there that the female lead cannot remember because she's lost her memory. Then the male lead enters the room Chen Tu is in, thinking that Chen Tu is one of Lu Wen's men, and then Mian Tang enters with a pot of boiling water and basically pours it on both of them. The male lead gets the brunt of that boiling water, more so than Chen Tu. We then get a scene of her putting balm on her husband, and he thinks she might be playing with him. Like, he thinks that she knows what he's doing and she's playing tricks on him. She doesn't have a clue. He has no clue. And then Nanny Lee brings something in, like a lamp which has like an emblem on it, and she starts getting a headache. The female lead starts getting a headache, and he asks her like, "Oh, do you remember something?" She's like, "Yeah, faintly," but it's not what he thinks it is realistically. Like, she just has a headache, you know. She doesn't have any information to give him. Then the banquet is over, and then Sun Jun that maid that tried to stab her, and the guy that she comes with are sneaking around, and then they decide to leave because there's nothing for them there. Then we get a scene of the main couple back in bed, and he wants info from her, like maybe she has something to tell him, and she's like, oh, okay, do you want sex? Because at the banquet, some ladies told her that the banquet's also called Sweet Night because after the banquet, the couple sleep together. So she thinks he wanted the banquet as a way of like sleeping with her, but that's not the case. And then he's like, no, don't take your clothes off. Like, keep your clothes on. I don't want to sleep with you. And then the scene ends. The next scene, Physician Zhao tells the female lead that the male lead is sick, and the male lead gets angry once he finds out that Zhao told her this. And then we also find out that male lead's also hoping that Lu Wen will show up again. And then also Chen Tu basically gets away with nearly assaulting her again because the male lead isn't really that focused on kind of apprehending Chen Tu because he's more focused on finding Lu Wen and figuring out if his wife quote unquote is lying to him, so he doesn't really care about protecting her or further than that protecting women because he's literally just focused on Lu Wen at this point. Then Female lead Mian Tang makes dishes for her husband for his illness. That's why he apparently can't have sex. That illness that Zhao tells her about. And then the male lead gets emblems of the bandits back at his real mansion and is then told that his wife has left by carriage. He follows after her, and then he finds out that Lord Zhao is with her because he's in the forest with his men. And then a green leaf falls on his head, which is a sign of jealousy. Like, green tea is like a sign of jealousy in China, in Chinese culture. So he's jealous about Lord Zhao and her kind of like hanging out. Like, he's starting to have like feelings for her because she always makes him food and stuff like that, and he can't really control the way that he's feeling, even though he also doesn't trust her. So that's the point that they're at right now. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. If you like my channel, please subscribe. If you like this video, please hit the like button below. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.